Great to have you back, tennis lovers. If you are just joining us, your timing is impeccable because the ground has literally just shifted beneath our feet with a result that changes absolutely everything. We are witnessing a staggering upset that sent tremors from the scorching hard courts of the California Open all the way to the heart of Prague, leaving the tennis world completely reeling. Every major sports network is blasting the headlines. Social media has melted down into total chaos, and the shock echoing across the European continent is absolutely unanimous. All of the Czech Republic sits in stunned disbelief tonight. We are dissecting a showdown that defied every single prediction made. This contest has completely flipped the script for the women's season and will go down as a watershed moment in the history of Asian athletics, marking the dawn of a new era. Alexandra Eala, that unstoppable teenage phenomenon from the Philippines, just pulled off the impossible. Walking out under the lights of the massive California Open Arena, an event known globally as the fifth Grand Slam for its brutal intensity and elite field, she systematically dismantled world number 13, a player of immense talent, deep experience, and infinite versatility, Karolina Muchova. Make no mistake, this was no lucky break. This was not a fluke or a veteran having an off day. This was a loud, undeniable message sent to the world. It was a broadcast to the entire Women's Tennis Association that the future has arrived, and it is proudly flying the flag of the Philippines. Entering this draw, expectations were heavily one-sided. Karolina Muchova is practically tennis royalty. A Grand Slam finalist and tactical mastermind, she wields one of the most lethal and elegant games on tour. She owns that wicked slice. She has the crushing forehand, the flawless net game, and the pedigree of warring with titans on global stages. When the draw pitted her against the young Filipina star, analysts and betting markets alike naturally wrote this off as a routine victory for the Czech virtuoso. They expected Muchova to use her trademark variety to expose the rookie's lack of big stage experience. They figured the gritty California courts would perfectly suit Muchova's spin and surgical drop shots, but they severely misjudged the intense hunger, the elite conditioning, and the blistering baseline power of Alexandra Eala. What unfolded in the desert was a masterclass in resilience and tactics. Right from the opening serve, the atmosphere in the stadium was absolutely electric, fueled by an incredibly vocal and passionate Filipino crowd that turned the neutral venue into a home court for Manila. Every point Eala won sparked thunderous cheers. Each winner she struck shook the stands. And inside this cauldron of noise and pressure, Muchova, the seasoned pro, began to suffocate under the heavy, relentless, lefty topspin of a 19-year-old girl playing with the weight of an entire nation on her back. You must grasp the magnitude of this moment to understand the day. In the Czech Republic, tennis is practically a religion. They churn out legends like a machine, boasting icons like Navratilova, Kvitova, Pliskova, Krejcikova, and Vondrausova. Muchova stands as a vital pillar of this modern powerhouse generation. Seeing her taken down by a teenager from a country with less tennis history has left European analysts completely stunned. But for the Philippines, this is pure euphoria, a paradigm-shifting win. A nation obsessed with basketball and boxing just found a bona fide world-class superstar dominating the highest level of an elite sport. Eala isn't just winning matches. She is smashing glass ceilings and putting Southeast Asian tennis on the map like never before. Now, let us dive deep and unpack the mechanics, the history, and the brilliant tactics that engineered this monumental upset. To get how Alexandra Eala pulled this off, we must first look at the wildly different journeys that brought these two to this court. Because styles make fights, and backgrounds forge the mental armor needed to survive at this elite level. Let's begin with world number 13, Karolina Muchova. She is the classic player updated for the 21st century. Unlike baseline bashers who rely on sheer power, Muchova plays like a chess grandmaster. She builds her points. She finds angles most players can't even visualize, let alone hit. Her backhand slice bites low, forcing rivals to bend deep and hit awkward defensive returns. And when she smells blood, she moves to the net with a grace rarely seen on the women's tour today. Muchova's career is a mix of soaring highs and painful injuries. She reached the finals at Roland Garros, pushing the invincible Iga Swiatek to the absolute brink in a three-set thriller. She has the instincts of a champion who knows how to navigate the deep waters of a major. Her aura demands respect, and her game demands perfection from anyone trying to beat her. Across the net stands Alexandra Eala, a player whose journey is defined by lonely nights, massive sacrifice, and a raw, undeniable genius. Born in the Philippines, Eala realized early that greatness requires elite company. To conquer the world, she had to leave hers behind, packing her life into a bag at a tender age and flying halfway around the planet to Mallorca, Spain, to forge her steel at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Picture the burden, a mere teenager carrying an entire country's dreams while grinding under the gaze of a living legend of the sport. Instead of crumbling, Eala turned that heat into fuel, building a reputation for grit that is already terrifying the professional tour. She forged a devastating left-handed whip, a forehand that explodes off the court and pins rivals hopelessly against the back fence. Her stamina is bottomless, a cardio machine built to survive the trenches and outlast veterans who should technically be stronger. Above all, she forged a mind of iron, staring down a top 20 killer like Muchova without showing a single hint of fear. From the first ball, it was a clash of philosophies. Muchova stormed out, desperate to shatter the teenager's rhythm before it settled. The Czech star knew a straight-up power war was suicide. Eala's fresh legs and heavy hitting would eventually overwhelm her defenses. So, Muchova opened her bag of tricks, firing low, nasty slices to starve the Filipina of the pace she craves to redirect. She charged the net on key points, using the serve and volley to panic Eala into spraying her passing shots wide. For a heartbeat, it looked like the veteran's chess match was successfully checkmating the kid. Muchova's savvy shone bright, carving the ball into awkward spots and running Eala ragged to test her lateral patience. But this is the moment Eala showed the world exactly why she is rocketing up the ladder at such a breakneck speed. She didn't freeze or spray errors. She evolved. That instant adjustment was the true highlight of the night. We are used to seeing rookies cling to plan A until the ship sinks, crumbling when the easy road is blocked. Eala, however, displayed the tactical wisdom of a seasoned grandmaster. Sensing Muchova's trap to lure her in with drop shots, Eala started reading the future. She sparked her footwork to life, arriving a split second early, which allowed her to step in and transform desperate defense into crushing offense. The momentum shifted entirely on the duel of the forehands, a battle that decided everything. Muchova packs a flat, laser-like shot capable of ending points cold with pure speed. But Eala's lefty lasso, dripping with that heavy Nadal-style spin, was the perfect weapon for these gritty California courts. Her shots bit the concrete and exploded upwards, forcing Muchova to strike from her shoulders constantly, a grueling motion that slowly sapped the life from the Czech's arm. Every defensive slice was met with aggression. Eala danced around her backhand to unleash that monstrous forehand, firing cross-court missiles that left Muchova frozen. Now, we have to look at the return game dynamics. Muchova relies on spot serving, but Eala returned with such ferocity that the advantage completely evaporated. Hugging the baseline, Eala took the ball on the rise, suffocating Muchova before she could even reset for the next shot. That relentless pressure forced the Czech to aim for the lines on her first serve just to survive, which inevitably tanked her percentages, leaving the weaker second serve exposed to Eala's wrath. It was total strangulation. Eala didn't just win. She surgically removed Muchova's best options one by one. We also have to salute the incredible physical engine Eala brought to this fight. California heat is unforgiving. The dry air and blazing sun turn matches into wars of attrition. Muchova, for all her brilliance, has a history of fading when these physical torture tests drag on too long. Eala smelled blood and executed the blueprint perfectly in real time. She happily ground out 5, 10, 15-shot rallies, daring her opponent to risk everything on low-percentage winners. She turned the court into a marathon track. Deep in the third set, the teenager was still bouncing with energy, while the veteran was slumping over her racket, stalling for breath between points. Then there was the noise. You can't ignore the electric energy pulsating through the stadium. The Filipino faithful arrived in legions, painting the stands in a sea of blue, red, yellow, and white. The roar, the chants, the sheer volume of the support was absolutely earth-shaking. Tennis is usually a hush-hush affair, but Eala turned the arena into something rivaling a World Cup final. That noise was her adrenaline shot. Every time she needed a boost, the crowd carried her. She drank in the energy, pumping her fist and blasting that collective fire right back through her racket. Facing down a killer rival is hard enough, but trying to survive while a whole arena screams against you, that's a nightmare for anyone's headspace. It turns the court into a pressure cooker where a single slip-up feels like a disaster and dropping a point feels like the whole match is slipping away. Muchova did everything she could to tune out the roar and stay locked inside her ice-cold mental fortress, but let's be real, that wall of sound screaming for Eala was the heavy hand that tipped the mental scales. This win shakes up the entire WTA season. For ages, the only story people told about Alexandra Eala was about what she times could times be. She was the kid prodigy, the one to keep an eye on down the road. Well, guess what? The road ends here. The future has arrived. Taking down a titan like Karolina Muchova under the bright lights of the California Open isn't just a win, it's Eala's graduation day. She's gone from promising up-and-comer to a straight-up danger for the elite. She showed the world that her heavy-hitting style isn't just for juniors, it works against the best in the business. Even bigger than that, she proved she's got the steel nerves to finish the job against top 20 giants. You better believe the locker room is sitting up and taking notes. Rivals who used to look at Eala and see an easy warm-up against a rookie are now sweating bullets, rushing back to their coaches to find an answer for that ferocious lefty baseline attack. Now, looking at the other side of the net, Karolina Muchova and her Czech faithful have some serious soul-searching to do. Muchova didn't choke. She didn't gift-wrap the win. She got outplayed, plain and simple, by someone who brought a better strategy and executed it like a surgeon. Muchova's mission now? Shake it off, keep her body in one piece, and maybe invent some fresh tricks to handle rivals who just refuse to let the ball die. The Czech Republic is still a powerhouse factory for tennis talent, but this showdown was a wake-up call. The Shark Tank of women's tennis is getting deeper, scarier, and more crowded than ever before. Gone are the days when the old guard could just breeze through the early rounds against the new kids. That era is dead and buried. Zooming out to the history books, what Alexandra Eala is pulling off for the Philippines is absolutely groundbreaking. We've seen Asian stars smash the ceiling before, of course. Lina stole hearts worldwide with her slam titles, and Naomi Osaka grabbed that torch to become a planet-wide superstar. But Southeast Asia, and specifically the Philippines, has been starving for their own flag bearer. Eala is turning into that hero right before our eyes. She's got thousands of kids back home putting down the basketballs and picking up tennis rackets instead. She's living proof that if you have the grit, the training, and a lion's heart, a kid from the islands can storm the castles of European tennis and take the throne. You can feel the energy buzzing from Manila to every Filipino community on Earth. They found their champion, and she's crushing it on the world stage. As we wrap up this historic day, let's be clear about what we just saw, a massive shift in power. The California Open has a reputation for churning out crazy drama, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a story that hits harder or louder than this one. Alexandra Eala's shocking takedown of Karolina Muchova is exactly why we watch sports. It's the proof that on any given day, pure guts and a fearless game plan can smash experience and rankings to pieces. But the job isn't done yet. This win is going to strap a rocket booster to her self-belief. The bracket just got a lot more spicy, and I guarantee you nobody, not even the top seeds, wants to see her name popping up next to theirs. She's got the wind in her sails, the shots in her arsenal, and an army of fans at her back. Cracking the top 10 isn't some wild fantasy anymore for Eala, it's a very real target, and it's coming fast. As for Karolina Muchova, the journey goes on. She's way too skilled and too tough to let one bad day wreck her year. She'll break down the footage, tweak her conditioning, and come back swinging probably deep into the next Grand Slam. That's where her veteran grind mindset shines. But right here, right now, the spotlight belongs 100% to the 19-year-old Filipina phenomenon. Thanks a million for hanging out with me for this breakdown of a truly jaw-dropping slice of tennis history. If you dug this analysis, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and sound off in the comments. I want to know, did you see this upset coming from a mile away? How deep is Alexandra Eala going to run here? Is she the chosen one to bring the next Grand Slam trophy back to Asia? Drop your hot takes below. Keep your eyes glued to the court, folks, because this season just turned the excitement dial up to 11. Until next time, stay hyped, keep watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.